IP locations made public. South African teacher's death ignites speculation. New human trafficking notice criticized. More Americans see communist China as a threat. Hello and welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm Liam O'Neill. Today is May 2nd. On April 28th, one of China's largest social media platforms, Sina Weibo, began displaying the IP location of all users. Other large platforms are following suit, displaying IP locations on an individual's homepage or wherever they post a comment. Only some special users, such as media, government agencies, corporations, and celebrities, are not required to make their physical locations public. Many Chinese netizens are angry. "I'm running naked through the internet," said one. "The ring around my neck is getting tighter and tighter," commented another. This post asked, "When will officials disclose their whereabouts? I'm not interested in others, but am very interested in knowing where officials' relatives have run to with their large assets." Radio Free Asia reported on April 30th that China expert Wang Zheng believes that officials have begun to publicize IP locations in order to silence government opposition and maintain social stability. He even went so far as to compare the situation to the Cultural Revolution. He said, "The people can fight among themselves when someone steps outside of the official line. The Red Guards era has quietly arrived." Disclosing locations has led to some surprises. One very vocal proponent of the CCP, he goes by Patriotic Big V, has been jeered on public media in recent days. That's ever since his location was revealed to be in Japan. Other popular pro-CCP account holders were found to also be living abroad. These accounts are from Taiwan and Thailand. One microblogger claims to bring users the Norwegian landscape, but he's been in Beijing all the while. Another draws popularity from his posts about dealings with Americans from within the United States, but he's in Shanghai. Eating and drinking life of Chongqing. What's new in Chengdu? And what's happening in Wuhan? Authors of these three accounts are advertised as being from within each of those locales, but they are all actually based in Hunan province and from the same marketing company. For several days, the internet was abuzz with news of the death of a 29-year-old South African English teacher living in Shanghai. Her name, Nomakwa Blackie. Some believe she died from starvation. South African authorities and news sites have confirmed her death but have not given a cause. But Twitter user Perverted Pepper, he posted a tweet on April 29 saying that Miss Blackie was found dead in her apartment in Shanghai on April 28th and that starvation was the suspected cause of death. South Africans are reportedly petitioning for more diplomatic help from the South African government for their own citizens stranded in Shanghai. But South Africa's ambassador to China said it was important for the petitioning public to understand that the hard lockdown is affecting everyone, not just South Africans. Earlier this year, a young woman in chains sparked public outrage. The so-called chain woman was a victim of human trafficking. Under public pressure, officials intervened. However, conflicting official statements did not quell people's anger. In another attempt to address the problem, recently the Communist Party's Supreme Court, Supreme Prosecutor's Office, and Ministry of Public Security issued a joint notice urging that suspected traffickers of women and children turn themselves in. The notice says that criminals who have abducted women and children and surrender before June 30th this year will be punished less severely. And further, those with lesser crimes may be exempted from punishment altogether. The notice encourages individuals and organizations to report trafficking crimes and try to persuade fugitive suspects to surrender. This has all sparked a lot of debate on the internet. If you have the moral integrity to turn yourself in, how could you abduct someone in the first place? This post asked. Many others asked along the lines of this post, if surrendering can reduce the crime, will that compensate for the lives of the girls who were ruined? According to a new survey released by the Pew Research Center, 2/3 of Americans now believe that the Beijing government is a significant threat. 62% of respondents said that the relationship between Russia and China is a very serious problem, given the impact of the war in Ukraine. 42% said the CCP's human rights record is the most serious problem. About 2/3 of respondents believe that the threat from the Chinese government is on the rise and that pressure needs to be put on human rights abuses, even if the economy is affected. The Wall Street Journal said that the Pew poll was conducted at the end of March with nearly 3,600 respondents taking part. In February, Russian and Chinese leaders signed a so-called uncapped friendship and cooperation agreement that has raised concerns. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has drawn international condemnation, along with sanctions. According to a Gallup poll earlier this year, 79% of adult Americans had a negative view of Beijing, but this number rose to 82% about a month after the Russia-Ukraine war. President Joe Biden has recently stated that the U.S. and China are now in a strategic rivalry. That's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us at Sound of Hope News. Please click like and subscribe for more China updates.